Well, that was a great basketball game, very, very competitive. I mean, Oklahoma City's an edgy team. They just keep coming at you. I thought our guys just, stayed the course and made some amazing plays down the stretch to, not allow Shea to get open shots. Sticks made a couple of big blocks. Ben made a really good stop on the baseline off of a switch and, earned the win.
Tied at 100 with about 8 minutes to go. What did you see from your team that allowed them to separate themselves down the stretch?
Well, TJ was great in the fourth quarter. And there were a few things that happened. Nemhard got hot from three on a couple of plays, but TJ was doing a lot of the facilitating on all that stuff. He got the rim a few times. We were attacking Shea with 5 fouls, and we're able to get in the paint a few times to create some stuff. But at the end of the day, it just came down to being able to just stand in there, give appropriate help and not over help, and just make them miss some shots without fouling, and come up with some big rebounds. So, this is a really good experience game for our young guys. Just to, and Oklahoma City they're playing for the playoffs. I mean, they're playing all their guys and they're going for this. And, to stand up to them and play the way we did, and withstand some pretty big runs. I mean, we got down 7 or 8 at one point in the second half and hung in and were able to get back into it.
Nearly a triple-double from TJ. What did you see about him fitting in everywhere and making all sorts of plays?
Yeah, he just had the motor running, which he always does. And he was running down loose balls. He was getting rebounds. He was pushing it. He was many times the facilitator on offense. His attitude was one of the big reasons we were able to win.
Just to keep going on him, I know we talked about this. We were on the road this week, but how important has he been for this stretch when you're playing a lot of young guys to maintain sort of the competitive level for everybody to kind of continue to sort of be sort of a professional model, I guess, for them? And I guess to a broader point, I mean, how important has he been in that role all season, sort of keeping this thing on track?
Yeah. Well, if you remember last year, he had the unlucky freak injury to his wrist. Missed 4 months. But then he came back and played the last 3 games of the season, which very few guys would do. This is just part of his competitive DNA. He felt bad that he got injured, and that was one reason. The other reason was he wanted to get back on the court and get his game legs, for 3 games and get some momentum going in the summer. And he was excited about, where his 3-point shooting had gone, working with Jenny. And so, I think he hit 3 or 4 threes in those last 3 games, and it was just another demonstration of what a championship set of attitudes, set of principles, total team commitment is all about. And so he's just a very unique player, very unique competitor, and very important to us.
I think, Ben, there was one stretch where you kind of pulled him out after on a transition bucket, but he comes back in there at the end.
He didn't run to the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just something, It's just something that, we've been on our guys, and, he did a very bad job of that last game. And we just gotta get him doing it because it opens up so much space. I mean, he's a guy like Buddy Hield, Reggie Miller, that the teams they put Lou Dort on him the whole time tonight. And so Ben had to be very patient, and, running to the corner isn't very glamorous, but if it helps your team play essentially 4-on-4 in a lot of space, it's the right thing to do. And, Reggie gave himself up time and time again, back in the old days. We were in so many playoff series, together, either when I was an assistant with Larry or when I was a head coach. And he would do anything to help the team win. And this is something that young players have got to get injected into their DNA. And when he went back in, he was great. He was doing everything right, and he maintained his discipline and his patience, which you have to do against Dort. You try to force it, I mean, it's going to get ugly. And they got guys that swarm the ball. So I really liked the way he played when he came back in.
I wanted to ask one thing in particular he did. He ended up on Shea in an ISO, and I think in the final minute, I can't remember.
Well, there was a switch, and he did a great job of playing him. I mean, there's all these Canadian guys out there. I mean, this is, it's just it just speaks to, what's happening in that country with basketball and young talent. I mean, you got Gilgeous-Alexander, you got Dort, you got, Nemhard, you got Mathurin. I'm probably missing some other guys, but these guys are all in the thick of the big plays of the game, so it's pretty cool on the one hand. On the other hand, it's Russian roulette with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, the guy is a beast, absolute beast on offense.
Last one for me, just the young bigs tonight. Jalen in particular, brings down the rebound there that puts it away. I think he ended with 15 boards. Just again, these guys keep getting minutes. They keep getting a lot of time and opportunity to grow. Just what's impressed you about Jalen and Isaiah and how they're growing up and making some big plays in this stretch?
Well, with Jalen, it's his character, and it's his professionalism, and it's the way that, when things got tough and he wasn't starting anymore, instead of dropping his head and complaining and having poor body language. I mean, he kept his head high. He kept competing. He kept supporting guys, all the guys on the team, particularly the guys that were taking that position. And he kept himself ready. And so when opportunities came, he was ready. And he has lifted his game to another level through his experience. Young players getting a chance to start, can be a thing that is challenging because, as I think I mentioned in one of these recent postgame things, the notion of starting, a lot of guys think, well, hey, I can ease into the game, I can get my rhythm, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a rhythm league on the one hand, but if you go out there only thinking about your offensive rhythm, I mean, you're going to get smashed in the face in this league. I mean, people are going to drive the ball around you, through you, and you're going to struggle. And Jalen took a set of challenging circumstances at one point and basically turned it into a major positive.
I think we just executed at a high level. Everybody locked in. Obviously we had those past couple L's. It wasn't a good feeling on us, and we just came out here and tried to play as hard as we can and as good as we can. So, and I feel as though that, like I said, everybody executed at the end because those last 5 minutes is where it really turns up in the NBA.
Where have you felt yourself grow on defense recently? It felt like you had a few big plays at the end of this game on that end of the floor.
Pretty much just knowing my spots. Obviously early on in the season I started out at the floor and I was still learning like the defensive scheme. Being in the right position when the ball swings and things like that. And I feel as though that's just something I've been improving on. And obviously, I feel as though that I just implemented it on the court.
What did you think of the performance of the guy on your left tonight?
TJ did a great job. He did fine. It's TJ. We expect that from him. TJ's our max point guard, so we expect that from him.
Is he your agent now?
Maybe.
Nearly a triple double for you. What was clicking out there as you looked at what the Thunder were doing defensively?
Just trying to get downhill, honestly, and see what the defense was giving me. When I got down there, it was over help, so just trying to kick it out and create the ball movement on offense. And if they stayed home, looking to score. So I just tried to do both. But I got to credit, the bigs. I missed them a little bit tonight. Sealing. Just didn't want to have 8 turnovers. So my apologies, Sticks.
Just to keep going on your offensive game. I mean, have you seen more opportunity to get downhill because you've been able to make some shots, basically, and that at least shows up on a scouting report? I mean, do you see more opportunity and ability to find, holes and ability to beat guys down?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a little bit of, the shot making, but it's also the players that are around me, especially Buddy. He attracts a lot of attention and runs towards the ball a lot and, just creates a lot of confusion. And the other guys around me are shot makers, so it's easy for me to get downhill. So, it's a credit to them as well.
This team is obviously young in general, and it's playing even younger, now obviously with Tyrese and Miles being out. I mean, what have you seen as kind of your responsibility as a veteran, especially as a second unit point guard, when it comes to sort of showing the competitive level there needs to be, showing the, tenacity that you need, and, sort of staying in, especially towards the end of the season. I mean, how have you viewed that responsibility? What have you tried to do, and what do you think you've gotten across to these guys?
I try not to be a rah-rah guy. I just kind of try to lead by example. And, the thing that, I just try to do is, no matter who's out or who's playing, we have to give the same energy every single night. That's kind of how I've played my entire career, and, that next man up mentality. And just, the advice to the young guys is you have to take advantage of every opportunity you get to step out on the floor. There's young guys in this league that don't see the floor until their third or fourth year. So these minutes are very valuable, and they're taking total advantage of it, and it's really good to see.
What just with this stretch, just coming down towards the end of it, I mean, how important was it for you guys to see a win, basically, with these different units, different combinations that you've had? I mean, what do you think it means to these guys to, just to beat somebody?
Yeah, I mean, we play incredibly hard, especially, our game against Milwaukee. We were right there with them until they broke it open. We just didn't have enough. So to play the entire game and kind of get over that hump and see a win, especially in front of our great fans, it's gratifying for sure.
And Jalen, what have you learned from watching him, from playing with him, and from seeing, I guess, the energy level that he keeps and maintains?
Oh, TJ? TJ plays at 110 every game. We all know it. Everybody knows it. That's his niche in the league. He's going to press you full court, and he's going to drive right by you on offense, So, I mean, his energy is contagious to the team. We see the type of competitor he is, and it builds that fire in everybody else to want to be as great as TJ is on the court, and just making sure that, like TJ always executes at a high ability. Even if he's having a bad game, he's still affecting the game in many different ways, and that's something that us young guys are still trying to learn as well. If shots not falling, you try to find a way to impact the game, and that's something that we look towards, and as TJ is that model for it.
TJ, what have been some of the biggest areas you've seen improvement in Andrew's game over the season?
Well, I mean, he hit the ground running for us, and I've tried to sing his praises all year about how good he is. He hasn't played like a rookie at all. His ability to defend the best player on the other team, and then run a unit when asked, be a shooting guard, and just kind of be our Swiss Army knife. He's done it the entire year at an incredibly high level, and players like him are very rare. So we're very lucky to have him.
I think it was, big for the whole team. A bunch of guys stepped up, made big plays, and we were able to get it done down the stretch.
You guys were down by 10 in the third quarter. A 29-11 run got you back in the lead. How were you able to turn things?
Big shots by Drew. TJ made big plays, a lot of hustle plays, and, just playing the right way.
Speaking of defense, they hit 4 threes on the night. That number really stands out. It's a Pacers opponent low on the season, specifically as it relates to the perimeter. What was working there defensively?
I think we just locked into the game plan from RC and Ron, and like I said, got the job done.
As you get ready here to go back on the road, what would you like to see carry over into Cleveland?
Just keep playing with the same intensity and focus that we did today, and that's it. That's about it. Carry it over.
I felt good. First felt a little weird because coming up from the flu, just trying to get your mind and everything situated and all it's locked in with the crowd and just trying to feel like you're under your legs and everything just feels weird. But I think my teammates and my coaching staff, everybody just put me in good spots. I was able to lead myself, and it was great to be out there with the guys, man. And it's nothing like me playing basketball. No matter what time of the year it's at, and can't take it for granted.
Was there a point where you felt like you had a rhythm back? I mean, was there anything that happened that you did that made you feel like, all right, I'm back to feeling comfortable here?
I guess when TJ in the third quarter, and I gave one in transition, and I felt one in the third quarter, and after that, my last 2 shots I took, I just was winded because I was tired. It was me out there, dealing with the flu. It's hard to get under your breath, and I'm playing so much minutes throughout the year, and just trying to get back into it. It's kind of tough, but coach did a good job managing the minutes and helped me get through it.
Did you hate missing the game so much? Does this one mean any more? Did it feel any better to be back?
Yeah, of course it means a lot to be back, number one, but just to be out there you know, and just see the fans and hear the ball bounce and be a part of the team and not being home, being in prison. You know, I feel like I was being in prison. So it was fun. It was fun, man. As I said, I never take this game for granted. You know, when it takes you away from it, you know, it means a lot just to be back and celebrating the guys, and especially from a good win, and just watching the young guys grow up there.
You mentioned TJ finding you for that bucket that got you in rhythm. What did you think of how he played tonight? You know, nearly a triple double for him in this one.
You know, he's always been savvy. You know, I just think he gets enough credit for him. He doesn't. Nobody gives him enough credit. How savvy and the way he plays the game the right way. You know, and he might not be a point guard, just come down and just you know, shoot the three as everybody wants him to do. But he comes, he makes the right play, and his savviness, getting to the paint. You know, he's probably one of the point guards that you can say TJ get to the paint. He can get the paint every single time, and he does that. And he finds guys, and he plays basketball his way, and is efficient and he's effective for our team, and he guards on the defensive end too, and he makes hustle plays, and he's the ones that you know that we feeds off our energy off. This team feeds off, and we need this guy. We need guys like TJ, you know, in this league, and he does tremendous time. I mean, he does tremendous. And it shows his work for his whole 8-year career he had in this league, and he just keeps getting better and better.
I've wanted a couple questions off of that. First off, what makes him so good off the bounce? I mean, he really can decide. He's getting there, whether it's to the rim or to that little 6-foot pull-up he is.
You think it's you? I've been studying him, and I've been watching him, and I figured out he's little, and he's quick, and he's very deceptive with his moves. It's hard to time, and his low center of gravity is just lower than everybody, and he just gets under defenders and he blows fast. He's quick burst of speed. So as a defender, once he gets that step on him, it's hard to. You can't get by him because he's faster than him and he's lower than you. So he does a good job with that, and he's the best in the league at it.
You mentioned just the energy for it. It seems obviously you qualify as somebody who does this as well, but it's obviously a young team. It's coming towards the end of the season. You know, a couple guys out and everything. What do you feel like you guys have done, TJ in particular, but both of you have done to kind of set a standard for these guys as you're getting towards the end? You know, kind of with that idea of you can't take this for granted. I mean, whether it's the end of the season or not, you don't know how many.
I just think that guys like me and TJ just come in and be professionals every day on one, treating the game the right way, having respect for the game, no matter what's caused, no matter what minutes we get, we don't pout. No, of course we're competitors. We're competitors. We're gonna pout and whatever, but we're just coming to do our job and be professionals as the team wants to do, and help the young guys grow and be mature about that, and you know, whether it's leading them on and off the court and helping them through film or on the bench or whatever we need to do, you know, on the court and make running plays for them and getting them the ball and getting them in places where they need to score and be efficient. You know, we're just doing our job and just being an example of us being ready to play every day. You know, whenever your number's called, we're there, ready and active. You know. TJ's another guy that if he's not hurt or injured, if he's not injured, he's gonna play, and he's gonna play hurt. So you gotta respect that about him.
You mentioned how you missed the fans. What do you think of that crowd tonight?
The fans great, you know, especially a weekend game coming back. You know, I didn't realize the weekend game because I've been out so long. I didn't know what day of the week it was, but seeing them there, you know, it's always a smile on your face. That's why I say like the fans being here, I always appreciate that, and it was a great crowd tonight, and it was much needed too.
You feel settled in with the second unit now? There's been a few games doing that.
I mean, no matter what unit you put me on, I'm gonna be able to play regardless. I'm a guy that knows how to play with everybody, and I've started. I've come to the bench, and wherever my job is to call upon to do, I'm gonna do it at a high and efficient level, and I know what I bring to the table, and I'm gonna do it all my heart and be as competitive as I can be for this team.